good article you did on the United.
Okay.
That was good.
Move on to our public comments. We've had three individuals sign up to speak this evening. First, Ms. Donna Frederick.
Stand up here. I'm here today on behalf of the United Givers Fund, and I came to tell the commission thank you for helping sponsor our new brochure. I did put one in each one of your little mailboxes the other day, so I hope you've had a chance to look at it. But thank you for partnering with the city of Scottsboro to have these printed. In the past, they've just been like one color, so this year with your help and the help of the city of Scottsboro, we got to use a color. And also, we were able to highlight some of the individuals that have received money from some of the organizations that we sponsor. So we just wanted to say thank you for helping us with this. We think this is going to help us this year with our campaign. We've already started, and we've got donations that started to trickle in, but we're still in the process of getting the brochures out and going to the industries that will help us get the money on up. But we appreciate you helping with this. And do you have any questions about the United Givers Fund?
You have any questions?
You know all about it, so. But we do appreciate you helping us because all this money stays in Jackson County. We have a very small administrative fee, and that's to Ellie Smith that works here in lives here in Jackson County. And all the organizations are in Jackson County, so all the money stays local. So we appreciate the commission, and if you want to give on an individual basis, we would appreciate that too, because no donation is too small. It all adds up. And last year we actually had to go into proration the last quarter because we didn't make our goal. But this year we see some other avenues that we may be able to get some more money. But we appreciate your help very much. And today I just want to say we got news today that Lozier is going to help us. They're going to have a softball tournament, and all the money goes to the United Givers Fund. So if any of you play softball, join up. I don't play softball, but if you do, get the word out or play on a team. We just appreciate your help. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dr. Ronald Dykes.
My name is Ronald H. Dykes. I'm a retired physician who's practiced for years in Scottsboro and have lived here since 1979. Over the past 10 or 15 years, I have served on the hospital board, the library board, and the planning commission. As such, I understand the importance of your role as commissioners, and I congratulate you for desiring to serve the citizens of the county. I'm here today to comment on what may be the most important issue this commission has faced in years, which is the placement of the Ten Commandments monument at the courthouse. Now, I use monument, but it applies to other kinds of displays. I strongly believe such an action would be a mistake for multiple reasons that I will briefly discuss. One, the major difficulty with the monument is the separation of church and state issue. I am not a lawyer and believe that argument to the attorneys, since the matter will probably wind up in court. However, I would like to point out that the separation of church and state was described in 1802 by Thomas Jefferson as follows. The legislature should make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the exercise thereof, thus building a wall of separation between church and state, end quote. In 1791, Amendment 1 of the Bill of Rights stated, quote, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion, end quote. I assume that would refer to endorsement of religion as well. This position has served our country well for over 200 years. To illustrate how well, Just compare the situation in our country with that of the Middle East countries where the state and religion are one. Now, this issue will be the constitutional issue. I'm sure it will be discussed when cases go to the courts. Now, other points have to do with local issues. Jackson County has made the national news a number of times over the past 85 years or so. Fortunately, some of it is positive, mostly because of a certain business establishment on West Willow Street. Unfortunately, several of these news reports have been quite negative, and I'm sure you're aware of all of them. I don't need to mention those. Based on the history of similar cases involving separation of church and state, placement of the monument will generate considerable controversy in national publicity, much of it not favorable. I've already been called to my attention that one national publication has mentioned Jackson County twice already for this. 3, I can give a good example of the negative impact such publicity can engender. A number of years ago, the medical community had almost recruited a highly qualified and much-needed surgeon from Kentucky. Just before he was to bring his wife down to see the area, she read in the national news about one of the negative reports I referred to above. She informed her husband that she refused to live in such a place, and that ended that. My point is that individuals and potential employers are reluctant to move to towns embroiled in controversy. I ask, would you choose to move to Ferguson, Missouri after the events of the past few weeks? The commission is elected to handle the business of the county. Confronting all of these issues facing the county is daunting and time-consuming. Putting up the monument seems like it would be a simple matter with a quick resolution. This will not be the case. This issue, including future inevitable lawsuits, will take up most of your time. Are you willing to subject yourselves and future commissions to years of controversy just to establish this monument, which may be ruled unconstitutional anyway, as they frequently are? If the monument is erected, what happens next? Based on similar situations, the floodgates most likely will open. The internet contains large numbers of lawsuits over Ten Commandment monuments placed in courthouses. In addition, other religious groups have requested that monuments to their beliefs, or lack of it, be erected, and these requests must be honored. The atheists have already threatened such a lawsuit in Jackson County, according to AO.com, and others will almost certainly follow. In fact, atheists have already erected such monuments in Oklahoma and Florida. There are also Satanist monuments in 2 different cities. They have a monument by the Ten Commandments monument in Satan. Furthermore, Muslims have announced plans to fund a number of monuments inscribed in the Koran in courthouses and intend to lobby for their use in judicial proceedings. Unfortunately, I can't remember where I found it, so I can't document it, but I remember reading that one town, I think in Oklahoma, had a number of monuments there on the courthouse for different religions. From an article in the Daily Sentinel, I understand the Liberty Institute will be your quote sugar daddy, end quote. According to its website, this organization's mission is the establishment of Christian displays, speech, and prayer in public areas. I suspect the Liberty Institute is more concerned for pushing its agenda than for the citizens of Jackson County. When the inevitable lawsuits and national publicity come along, who will be the ones taking the heat? You or Liberty Institute? The Ten Commandments on the monument on public property implies endorsement of a particular religion. Our country and our county do have a dominant religion. But should members of other religions feel disenfranchised and be concerned that they may not receive equal consideration when they enter the courthouse? I have good friends who are Jews, Muslims, Hindus, and non-believers. They are all fine people who pay their share of taxes to help build and maintain public facilities like this courthouse. On a monument endorsing a particular religion implies that their firmly held beliefs have little or no consequences. This is not a partisan issue. It's not a matter of being for or against Christianity, for I am not. The real issue is what is in the best interest of all of the citizens of our county. Putting the Ten Commandments at the courthouse is not. Even if it is a part of a display of, quote, historical documents, one particular religion is still being enforced. In summary, I feel that the decision as to whether to erect this monument boils down to two main issues. First, are the county fathers willing to erect a highly controversial and possibly unconstitutional monument which will involve the county in controversy for years and take precious time away from the important duties for which you were elected? Second, are you willing to ignore and even discard a basic victim of Jeffersonian democracy and Amendment 1 of the Bill of Rights, namely the separation of church and state? Thank you for the opportunity to address you on this important issue, and I have a copy of my statement for members of the commission.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Ross.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Michael Cousins.
My name is Michael Cousins. I'm a resident of Jackson County. We moved here after Katrina. And that's not good to me. Part of the crime wave that left New Orleans. And I have a boat at ADOC and Jackson County Marine. Sunday I picked up the Sentinel and I read that y'all are proposing to increase the rates at the Marine. So I've had very little time to do a lot of investigating. In the article, Matthew was quoted as wanting to increase the rates. Increased rates would make the rates competitive with those found elsewhere. I started looking elsewhere. I talked to the folks at Goose Pond, All Red Marina, and Gunnersville Marina. And here's some of the things I came up with. Just remember, this was done on short notice, and if I had more time, I would probably have more accurate records. But what I found from Goose Pond First of all, they have 44-foot covered slips, and they have 55-foot covered slips, and the ones that we have over here are 50. So I just figured the rate that we pay per foot per month. And at Goose Pond, with all the options open to the renters, they pay $5.41 per covered foot per month. And with the increase that y'all are proposing, that y'all are going to vote on tonight, it will bring our rate up to $5.50 per foot per month. Now, the options I'm talking about that they have at Goose Pond is they get 1 month's free rent if they pay a year in advance, which I've suggested to Matthew, and he said he would consider it. If we do that, then our rates would go down to $5.04 per foot per month. And I brought this up to Carl and talked about how it would affect the marina. And since we only have a couple of folks, myself and one other boat owner, that is wanting to do this, but it has the potential to have more of a financial effect. That is with all the options that we have. All the other marinas offer this. And if you guys want to stay competitive, then we need to talk about all the things that are available at the other marinas that we don't have at Jackson County Marina. And some of our boat owners have trouble comparing Goose Pond Marina with what we have, what we call a marina. It's basically a place to park the boat. Some of the differences between Goose Pond and our marina at Jackson County is they have floating docks, which I'm sure y'all are all aware of, which make a great deal of difference, especially if we're not here in the city all the time when we have changes in water levels. This year we've had the water level go over our walkway, and we had it last year. And from what I understand of the history, I've only been here 9 years, but we've had times where they've been 2 foot above the walkway. And that puts our boat tops up into the roof. But Carl does have his crew check our mooring lines when the water level changes, and they do the best that they can at the times that they're working. Some of the other things that Goose Pond has that's considered part of the marina is they have a courtesy car. If you have a boat over there and you need to go into town to get something, you can use their courtesy car. They actually put a little gas in it. They have a restaurant, they have a swimming pool, they have a golf course, they have new bathhouses, which are really nice facilities. They have a boat lift, they have mechanics, and a mechanic shop over there, which we do not have in Jackson County. If we have a problem with one of our boats, we've got to call Boat US. We have to get our boats over to Goose Pond to lift them up to take care of the problem. We have a boat that starts taking on water. By the time we get it to Goose Pond, it's the fuel prices. At County Park, they're $4 and 29.9 cents a gallon. At Goose Pond, they're $4.01 a gallon. So they're 29 cents a gallon higher. Some of the things that need to be addressed is our spider infestation problem. I'm not sure what we can do to manage that, but I did talk to Cook's Pest Control today and asked them, but it's not my place to get involved in the management of the marina, but there are issues when you start trying to control the spider population over water. All the regulations change, and I know that. But the people at Cook's told me today that if they had an opportunity to handle the problem at our marina, and we weren't happy with their services, they wouldn't charge us again. Can't guarantee that, that's just what they told me on the phone today. I think it's only fair to ask for 1 month's free rent if we pay a year in advance. I don't know how overall that will affect the finances. We need new bathhouses. We talked about, Carla and I talked about the washer and dryer situations, and I know they've got a facility at Goose Pond that's readily accessible by the boat owners. And I'm not sure where are the washers and dryers. I think they're over in the campground area, but I'm not sure about that. There's another big issue that needs to be addressed, and it needs to be addressed soon. When there was a park board, which no longer exist, we've always had electrical problems at the marina with varying voltages, which has caused a lot of problems. We couldn't prove it, but I've had to replace my refrigerator. There's been microwaves and air conditioner compressors go out, and we can't prove that the variation in the voltage caused that. But it doesn't help the situation. So Jimmy Salmon was asked to give a presentation to the board, and I was there, and my wife and I were there that night. And he recommended that they go to a 3-phase system instead of a single-phase system. And he told them it was going to cost about $110,000 at his cost, and they turned it down. I talked to Jimmy about this, and I asked him if I could quote him today. And he said there is a letter at the power board. Let's see, let me get this correct. There's a letter at the power board stating that the power provided to our boats is not within code. Now, I don't know what kind of financial or legal effect that would have if somebody got hurt at the dock, and I'm sure there possibly could be some lawsuits. The only thing I wish is, and I've tried to get some of the other boat owners over here, but we had such short notice on this, and I'm sure that y'all put out notifications of things coming up like this, but the only place I found out that was in the newspaper. But we just want fair treatment. We'd like the facilities to be up to date and usable. If we're going to start comparing other marinas to this marina, there's no consideration. There's no comparable considerations what we have. Just give us a chance to operate our boats out there. I'm not against the $20 a month increase, but if y'all do that, you need to consider, and you need to spend some money on the electrical power going to our boats. Thank you.
Thank you.